Hello guys, this is a second video about how to improve the default poser meshes using the different tools that we have right now. This is Pauline loaded, the default poser 11 figure, and as you can see in her default state she has not a lot of detail and she's not the most attractive figure out there. So using two different techniques I built another Pauline that I'm gonna drive into the scene right now. That one. This is still the same mesh, the same Pauline, but this one has two more dials. An older dial that was created for the head only. You see that there's a lot more detail in the head when you do a close-up. Voila. It is just a dial to get an older look, a more wrinkled skin. And that was created using the sculpting technique demonstrated in the other video. Pauline G is just a full body morph. Oh, I went the wrong way. From a default Pauline to Pauline. So we're gonna demo how we create the both. We use for that, of course, Blender. In Blender, we import wavefront object file. We load the original Pauline OBJ. Smooth groups, lines and split off. Keep vertex order and polygroups on. Import. And this way we get in Blender the default Pauline mesh. And now to create a morph. For a morph, you see I have multiple things here. For a morph, you can only work with the existing vertex. You cannot add or remove vertex. You can only take an existing vertex and displace it. That is a morph. And using this morphing technique, you can use sculpting. Why not? You can use sculpting, but without subdivision, because you can only work with the existing mesh. So you can start morphing on the figure to improve the body detail. You see, you can only work with the existing mesh. There, you can do a lot, but you cannot do everything. Using this technique, I'm gonna delete this. I created Pauline G. That is an improved or morphed object file. Let me put that a little bit more visible. Voila. This is the default mesh. You see, it is still the same mesh, the same vertex order, only morphed using standard sculpting and scaling techniques to displace existing vertex. So this is the Pauline G morph that we are going to load as a full body morph in Poser. To create the head, I cut off all the rest of the body, as I talked about in the other video. I cut off all the rest of the body, only maintaining the head, and I put that head at a subdivision level 2. Let's select the head. Edit mode. And at sub D level 2, you see that you get a lot of more mesh, a lot more detail that you can sculpt now into the mesh. Because this time when you're creating a sculpt, you can change the vertex order. And I created an older Pauline sculpt here in Blender. So using those techniques and combining those two techniques, I loaded the full body morph to adapt the body, and I loaded the head. Let's put the head at 0, voila. That is the difference between the normal head and the projected head. This is the head that comes from the morph, from Tauline morph, and this is the head that comes from using the old head sculpt that we got in the figure using the procedure as described in the other video. So that's how you can improve all existing poser meshes to get more detail in them. Work the general outlines with a full body morph and work the details with a sculpt that you can project into the mesh using the morph brush and the fitting tool. Thank you.